Guys, welcome to September. Hope you guys are staying safe, healthy, and hydrated out there. We're actually getting a heat wave coming, so right after I do this video, I'm gonna have to cover up some of the plants to protect them because we are reaching triple digits this weekend. I think this is gonna be the hottest time of the year for us here in SoCal. Starting off, I want to share with you guys about the loofah. If you guys have seen from the previous garden tour of last month, if you have not checked that out, I'll link it down below for you. So these loofahs, you can see that they have grown quite a bit. So these loofahs are getting harder and drying up. I also have pruned this vine back to open up a bit more space and light for the plants below it. So if you guys come closer, right over here is the Variegated plant, and it's shot up since last month because we've got quite a bit some warm days now, and it's almost double its height here. So this is a really fast growing vegetable, and it's just super delicious. You can eat this cooked or raw, but I wouldn't recommend eating this, like making this your daily greens or something. But it has like a pea kind of a flavor, so I really enjoy that. Right over here we got some ginger. I'm really excited to be harvesting these. They're growing in a little more sun in its earlier stage, and it's kind of got shade out by the other trellis here. You know, I kept designing the garden as the things grow and as I see what's needed. The peppers that I've been growing up here in this upper level, I got 3 different types of peppers here. I got the hatch pepper, and then the bananas, and then all the way to the back, that one is the fushimi peppers, all sweet peppers. So I'm going to be harvesting these ones. I really have been impressed by this trellis that I've put together so easily using the Thriving Design seed bites to snap on, and it's just been so sturdy to hold up the bitter gourds and all those heavy loofahs, and then to even, you know, to have these on the upper level is just so cool to make use of my space here. I love the supplies that they've been sending me to test out, that if you guys are interested, I do have an affiliated link. I'll link it down below for you guys so that if you guys purchase that, you get free shipping. Alright, so let's just pick these peppers because they are super ripe already. Thank you, so that I can have the plant. Looks like it's got some new sets of flowers, so I'm really excited. Alright. The last garden tour, some of you guys were asking about the cabbage tree. So this one, actually, you can't find it elsewhere because this one actually is a special breed that kind of came out of my friend's property. So he gave me this cutting. If you guys are interested, maybe like leave a comment down below or let me know somehow so that I can ask him to start offering some plants to you guys. So I really love this. It's just so beautiful. This cabbage tree, that's what he calls it, and it's got like really what do you call it? It's got like a crispy kind of a texture. When I bite into it, it just falls apart. It doesn't have that stringy fiberness like you would with like kale or collard greens. So I really love using these as like a wrap. It's just almost like just a couple of bites with it, and it's just so delicious that way. And I think if I actually cut this and propagate this one, I would encourage a lot of side shoots, so they'll kind of grow looking like Brussels sprouts, but they're looking so beautiful. I don't want to cut them yet, so I'm just enjoying them right now, just like this. These yam, so much different than the regular sweet potatoes that we call yam in America. So it's really has taken off. I'm actually going to invert and put another tomato cage up to, and then train the vine to grow on that. But it really has put up a lot of growth here. And right over here we got a mystery pumpkin or squash. What's fun about volunteers is that it's just a mystery until, you know, they start putting out fruits. So there's this first little baby fruit that I hand pollinated yesterday. I mean, there was a bunch of bees, but I still wanted to put that artist touch just to guarantee that I will get fruit. So here's a little baby fruit. Where is it? It's right over here. It really has grown double its size just overnight. And that's a really key point to know that your fruits are going to keep growing. Once, you know, it gets pollinated, the fruits will grow a lot bigger, a lot faster. If it takes a long time, then most likely that fruit's not going to develop. So this is, I think I really got lucky here that it started fruiting at quite just about 3 feet long, which means it's very manageable to keep it in on this trellis. So stay tuned for a video. I'll show you guys how we can prune things to kind of keep it compact and for them to still be able to fruit for you, growing vertically. And right over here, these are the Barbados Gooseberries. It totally shot up like 3 times its height. So it's just like once the roots get established, it grows super fast, and they do put out these little, like these fragrant flowers and gooseberries, and these leaves are really nutritious. It's got that gelatinous kind of a taste in there. So for those of you who don't like that, I think you can throw it in a smoothie to make it really like a really yummy smoothie. I think it'd be kind of fun to serve an hors d'oeuvre with these little leaves as a wrap, and as you're, you know, biting into this whole thing, you're kind of experiencing this like gelatinous taste that kind of binds and mixes into the flavors, kind of like creating sauce in your mouth as you're eating. African blue basil, they really have grown a lot nicer, a lot fuller. Being in this full sun area just over the month, it really has quadrupled its size, growing so fast that I'll be able to make some cuttings to offer on my website pretty soon. So these ones, the reason I put them in a container is that I can move them around. Like the idea is that I can bring it to wherever, you know, I think those plants need a little boost for the bees to come, so that I can attract them to help me pollinate. So I guess that's what I'm picturing. I'll be moving this plant around wherever, whichever plants need it, I'll put it right next to that plant to encourage more bees to come. So right over here is the genera procumbens. I've staked it up with a tomato cage, so all around it I've actually placed some more felt pots for different types of mints that I've been growing. So this is the strawberry mint. Oh, this is my favorite mint that I'm growing right now. And then I actually had 2 sides here for the potatoes. Potatoes prefer a little more sun, but because of the space that I'm in, I'm doing my best to plant everything that I want. So they are getting a little more sun earlier in the season, and now that, you know, the angle of the sun has been changing, it's getting a little more shade now. But anyhow, I think it'll be exciting to see how much potatoes I get growing in part shade. So I'm going to be harvesting that later. And yeah. Some more mint here. I really love using mint, especially in the summer when it's so hot. You can make like mint lemonade and mash it up with some berries, or and some sparkling water for like a soda kind of a taste. And yeah, so let's come back on this side here. Right over here are some fish peppers. They got some really beautiful variegated leaves. Some leaves are more variegated than others, of course. So these ones here were drying up on the vine, so I'm just going to pick some of these, and I think I'll do some pickling with it. I'll do some like olive oil pickling. Wow, look at that. Look at that. Even the stem, like this part, is variegated. Now this is probably, I've never had fish peppers actually, but I looked at how spicy they are on the chart. They're actually a lot more spicy than I can handle, but that's why I'm pickling them, so that I can just use a tiny bit for flavoring my foods. Alright. And I'm just going to leave a couple here because I'm going to be doing a pepper video, so stay tuned for that episode. Right below here, I got these like more like a different variety or a close family to with the Purslane. So I eat them. They're really tasty to me, and they put out a lot more like these beautiful flowers. It's still kind of early in the day for them to open up, but these do have a lot bigger flowers. Oh, here's a little baby one. The first flower on this little cutting. So they just have a lot more beautiful ornamental kind of feel to these Purslane, like these flowers, versus the wild Purslane that has like tiny little flowers. So they're just, I love that dual purpose of like the beauty and that it's edible. Super decorative in your salads or any foods, you guys. I absolutely love them. So I used to have a blueberry bush growing right next to it, and it was just getting so big that it was shading off this pepper and the other plants next to it. So what I did was I basically swapped that out, moved it somewhere else because the blueberry bush is not flowering right now. And I swapped it in with this baby watermelon, this sugar baby watermelon. My friend planted from seed. She gave me that seedling. So I'm hoping that there's enough days for the baby watermelon to take. Now I forget the name of this plant. You see them a lot in like borders, kind of like decoration, because they're super hardy to grow. But in Vietnam, what I learned is that they actually use this to make like they boil it to make like a sweet tea with it. So I don't know if this is edible raw, you guys, but I have been juicing for them for like a couple of years now. I don't use a lot. I just use a few leaves with a bunch of other greens. So I'm just gonna harvest this and along with some other greens today to make juices, smoothies, and salads, because a lot of greens are just waiting to be picked. They're growing so fast, these summer leafy greens. So there I have opened up a little more space, a little more light for this pepper to keep growing. This is the bicolor genera, also known as the Okinawa spinach, and it's got these really beautiful purple color undertone. This plant prefers a little bit cooler temperature, and it doesn't like too much sun. It does like some indirect sun though, because that's what the color, you know, they get that nice, that purple underneath the leaves from the sun. But it does get burned, and it does not like direct sun or like too much sun. That's why it's in this part shade area, and I just love being able to keep pruning it back, and it just grows so beautifully. This is a really wonderful vegetable for a fall garden, just because this is a perennial, but in the fall, for us it grows better because it's the heat is not as harsh. Right over here, I put down dragon tongue bean seeds here, so hopefully they will germinate soon, and I still got some time for some beans since this is in a sunny location. And as I mentioned earlier, this area used to be where I had the blueberry bush. The blueberry bush was like this tall, so it was shading both sides. Now that I've cleared that up, hopefully that would have the beans grow beautifully. Then right here, this is a Papalo. I absolutely love this smell. So I'm just gonna harvest a few. You can see that Papalo is so delicious. I absolutely love these in my salsas. I even put it in any kind of foods that I eat. Oh, this one with basil, pineapples, and some leafy greens make a wonderful smoothie. I really love this fragrance. And you just basically top them off like basil so that they would grow full and abundant. A couple weeks ago, we went through a crazy heat wave here. When the ashitaba flowers, it gets really tall, and it also got a lot more sun than it's used to, so it actually burned. So only parts of this, the stalk has like these flowers are going to go to seed. So I'm a bit sad about that, but that's just how it goes in the garden. Luckily there are some spare, and I've planted the ashitaba in different places, so I have backups. So I really love being able to just take one stalk. I mean, when ashitaba are developed, check this out. You get like this entire stem, this just cut one stem, and that's plenty to use. They really just grow better in fall and really amazing in the winter. So this is definitely, I'd say, like, it's a cooler climate kind of a vegetable to grow, and it's just super nutritious. Got that vitamin B12 that we're looking for, especially in like plant-based food. There's not I don't know of other plants that contain B12 vitamins. So then right down here, I got a Persian cucumber I just put in a few days ago, right next to the, I believe this is a Suyu cucumber. It's that large variety, but it started slowing down the growth, so I put down another one for backup. So Persian cucumbers is kind of like your pickling cucumbers. They're smaller and they start to fruit a lot faster than other varieties. So hopefully I should be able to get some cucumbers here before it gets cold out here. So right over here, this thing has doubled its size. It grew so fast in the heat. This is the Roselle, also known as hibiscus, from that like red hibiscus tea that you drink. It's got this nice tart flavor in the leaves. So I actually add this to salsas and salads. Has really good like tang. Yeah, has really good tang. Really love this red, deep red stems. And so as the days are gonna, get short, keeps getting shorter, they're gonna start producing these buds. So eventually when these buds develop, or after they flower, they're gonna get really plump up, and I can do another video to show you guys how I harvest them. So I'm really excited about this thing. And then right below it, I planted some more edamame. It really likes a little more sun than this, but I'm working with the space that I have. So, oh, there's a tiny little bean pods out here that formed. This is the green Egyptian spinach. Now they do better than the red variety in part shade, and that's why I've had it here. This one is a really wonderful heat-tolerant leafy green. The hotter they grow, the better, the faster. And this one is similar to like the okra, kind of gelatinous taste. Also, these little pods here. I'm gonna pick one for you. Thank you. After they put out these little yellow flowers, they start forming these seed pods. But before they get mature, even slightly bigger than this, but they're still, as long as they're still like bendable, right here, all flexible like that, so tender. They remind me of okra, but it has even nicer, more tender texture than okra. So good. I love it. There we go. Here, I'm just gonna open it up, because the more I prune, the fuller it's gonna grow. And look, it's got even a little yellow flower in there. Pineapple sage has been growing beautifully. Another sun-loving herb. I really love adding these to my smoothies. Just a little bit goes a long way, or juicing. It does really remind me, it does have that apple, that pineapple flavor. Oh my goodness. And these things put out these really beautiful, like hot pink or magenta looking flowers that really attract the hummingbirds. So I'm just gonna pick a few. Thank you. Actually, just need one little snip and I'm good. Right on this side, I got more ashitaba, but in the future, after these ones flower, I'm actually going to move and dedicate that side of the raised bed behind me for ashitaba, so that I can have this side to be growing some plants that like more sun. But that's in the future. If you guys are new to gardening, green onions are like the easiest things you can grow. You just pick them at the grocery store and you can plant directly in there, because it does come with the roots intact. What I usually do is every time, if I do need to pick up some at the grocery store, I would cut to use up all the leaves, the greens, and save that little bottom portion and just plant them, and look how well they're doing. I mean, this is definitely one of the easiest things you can grow, but actually also very nutritious. This is the red Egyptian spinach. That's why I've placed it here, getting a lot more sun than the green one there. It's doing so well, loving the sun. Has these little yellow flowers that are so adorable looking. Now, Egyptian spinach, according to research that I've read, they're actually even more nutritious than kale. So that's super exciting because I actually enjoy eating this a lot more than kale. It's just so much more tender. The leaves are so thin. What's fun about these ones is that the red ones actually put out these little seed pods that are different than the green one. Thank you. Just gonna pick one. Look at the seed pod. It's like round compared to the other one that's more like an okra shape. Mmm. You can see I really love Egyptian spinach, so I'm gonna have some seeds. I do have some of these seeds available on my website, so you guys can get them planted next year. It's super nutritious, super fast growing, and delicious leafy green. Speaking of the blueberry bush, this is the one that I moved because I figured that it likes, you know, some sun, but it is actually getting like a good height, tall enough that actually can get some sun, even being on the part shade side. And that's the advantage of growing in containers, is that you can move it according to your needs. Right over here, I'm excited about these peppers. This is the sweet banana peppers. I absolutely love sweet peppers. So banana peppers actually are more ripe, I believe, is when it is orange. Look at that. This one in the back here is actually blushing, so it's about to turn orange. I'm just gonna wait for it to get even more ripe so they'll really sweeten up for me. And this is about, I think, this is a 10-gallon pot. Is it 10? Yeah, I believe this is a 10-gallon pot, and I got 3 plants growing here. And this is in full sun because they really like the blasting of the sunshine here. And I've staked them up because they really fall over with these really massive, these large peppers. This is the rock sapphire. This is one of my favorite herbs around here. It's super nutritious, really high in a lot of different types of trace minerals because it's considered a wild food. In UK, they actually go out and harvest these in the wild by the sea. So you can see that when they grow near the seashore, they really extract and pull the minerals out of, like, you know, ocean water and the ocean breeze. You can see that they're putting out really beautiful flowers similar to that fennel, dill, or even ashitaba type of flowers, or carrots. Yeah, so if you guys are interested, I do have these seeds and plants available on my website. One other thing that I really love about these is to use it in my juices. Just a little bit goes a long way. So this is my strawberry tower right over here. This is the Italian pepperoni. I'm gonna have a pepper feast. This pepper has been getting some spider bites or spider mites, so, and some scaling going on here. Yeah, so I do need to make a little spray for this plant here. And check out the strawberries. They really have grown so much in the past month from the heat. But I also had a guard, like a shade guard here, to protect them because sometimes they get stressed out and they get burned when it's way too hot. Really love growing strawberries vertically because they don't fruit throughout the entire year, and it's not something that's like an annual where you take them out when they're done growing. This small amount of space, I have about probably like 20 strawberry plants here. And then we got over here, the top shelf, got all kinds of like the banana peppers, the chili flora here. Ooh. Thank goodness I didn't cut the wrong stem. This is a fushimi sweet pepper. And we got these ones here. Thank you. This is a bell shape. It actually can get a little more red. I just want to show you guys. It's alright. So we got some basil. Oh, check this out. This is tea tree. You know the essential oil for tea tree oil that's like antibacterial? Well, this is the plant. This is the tree. And it smells so closely to that essential oil, but better. and more fresh, obviously, because it's living. But it's so funny each time I look at this plant, I'm like, wow, I'm growing tea tree. I know that I grow like lavender, and there's a lavender essential oil, so are a lot of different types of essential oils out there. But I guess lavender is a little bit more on the common side, and so I love using tea tree essential oils for, you know, disinfecting. I add tea tree oil in my laundry. I even add them for like house sprays that I make. This is the Bacoba, really good for your brain health. This really likes a lot of, like, you know, some sun and a lot of water, and so that's why in this vertical planter, I guess you call it, I got it growing on the bottom because all the water drips down and get to this part. Now, some of you guys were asking about the drip irrigation system, so stay tuned for that video, but that's going to come out a little later because I do need to finish up the entire place, and because I'm putting it up in a more established garden, it's a lot more work to be moving things around to get the irrigation set up. Papaya is a really fast growing fruit. If you guys are want to, you know, are looking into growing fruits in a small space or small containers, or just really fast growing and fruits really quickly for you, papaya is one of them because it's technically not a tree. And it shot up like 4 times its height just in 3 weeks. This is another Roselle plant. This one shot up so high, it's actually putting out little buds here, so I'm really excited, super excited. This one is this is Ashitaba. It's in more shade, like I said, grow multiple plants so that you can have backups and put them in different spots and see how they do. This one luckily is flowering, and the shades really helped out in the flowers, and I even got some seeds producing here. The Soursop has grown a lot over the month. It's gotten so big. I know that I'm probably not going to get fruits here unless, I guess, the climate keeps changing. But the leaves here, I can pick them to make tea. They're like anti-cancer, just really good for you. So I'm going to treat this as an herbal tea kind of a plant that I'm growing. And then right behind, I got the cucumbers. Japanese cucumber, remember from that previous garden tour, it's getting bright sunlight, but it's also not getting harsh, direct sunlight. And oh, I totally forgot about this cucumber. This one's really getting old. Highly encourage you guys to not get let your cucumbers get that mature, because you're stressing the plant out because it's quite a heavy feeder. So definitely pick them more often so that they can keep producing. You're not overloading the plant with stress. Oh. One last thing I gotta pick. Here's my 7 to 8 feet tall tree collar growing over the wall. It was so heavy, actually needed help to cut one of the branches. So we weren't able to film that part for you, but I'm sure you guys caught the pic on the thumbnail of this video. Thank you for joining me on this month's garden tour. If you guys enjoyed this video, please like, share, and subscribe to this channel. And follow me on Facebook and Instagram, where I do instant updates of my life that you don't get to see on this channel. Just like as I'm shooting this video right now, you get to see that I'm doing this in real time. So yeah, if you would like to support my work, please go check out WENDILAND.com, where I have seeds and plants available for you guys. I'll leave the links of everything that I just mentioned in this video just below this one. Thank you all so much. Remember to stay hydrated before you even start gardening, and take breaks. So stay safe, healthy, and hydrated. Bye, guys.